Big weekend, busy weekend. These are things I wanted to do before my knee was broken, and I had to call off a lot of these meetings, and now finally I can fit it all in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's going to be jeans and a suit and tie weekend. And what do I plan to get achieved? Well, the one thing I don't think I'll be able to do is have one of the executives at Uber, at Lyft in San Francisco come down and have a meeting. I'm going to try and get into the building. I'm going to try and talk to security. I'm going to say, hey, I'm here to talk about pay and safety. If any of the executives want to make themselves available on Friday afternoon, I'll be in San Francisco. Hit me up through my channel. Any of those executives want to sit together on a live feed and talk about driver pay and driver safety, I'm coming up. But the main reason, and we'll see if we get past security. I doubt it. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be polite. I'm not going to be pushy, but I'm going to make myself available to any executive, and I'm going to try and walk into the Uber building, and I'm going to try and walk into the Lyft building in San Francisco and say, hey, can anybody make themselves available? Now, what are the other main reasons? At Tenaya Lodge in Yosemite. So I'm doing San Francisco and Yosemite in the next 4 days. There's a big convention, a lot of politicians, and one of my dearest friends who is a US Senator. So I'm going to be going up there and spending the day with him and other politicians on Sunday to talk about rideshare. Like what can drivers do? Give us some ammunition, right? What can we do? How can we prepare? What type of bills can we introduce? I want to talk about what's going on and about the big picture and about the future. And these are people I can depend on because I've known them for 26 years. I accommodated numerous senators at our safari lodge in South Africa. I took great care of them. I mean, I literally rolled out the red carpet and gave them the best service at our lodge in South Africa. And I've had that friendship ever since. And we've done a lot of business together. I've done things for these gentlemen. They've done things for me. And on Sunday, I'm going to call a ride share and food delivery gig work favor. What can we do in the future? Who do I need to talk to? What type of bills need to be written up? Who writes up these bills, right? So a lot of talk around that. Then the other thing, I have 2 meetings with 2 law firms in San Francisco. That's the suit and tie time, right? The one is about a class action sexual abuse, sexual harassment case towards riders, towards drivers. We're going to talk numbers. The other one is with another law firm that specializes in class action lawsuits. What can we go after? I truly find that there's a lot of tip stealing, a lot of shenanigans going on with the external fees and all the bullshit insurance, and I want to see if attorneys can go after them in a big way. Now, Uber posted a loss. Why did Uber post a Q1 loss? Because they had all these legal payouts, right? They had 300 million in Australia, another 250 million now in the UK. They had over 300 million in wage theft in New York. I mean, they are just paying and paying and paying. And why is this happening? It's pretty simple. When you go around and recklessly disobey the law and do all the shit that Uber and Lyft has been doing, it's no wonder that at some point it all catches up. So they're paying big time. I mean, you're talking 3 lawsuits, almost $1 billion. They are splashing out money because they know they have done wrong. It's time to pay up. And I don't see that changing in 2024, 2025, 2026 onwards. They're going to be confronted with a lot of big class action lawsuits. I want to be in the mix of them. I want to help law firms. I want to help class action law firms it's pay up time, right? And they know why. Uber and Lyft know why I'm doing this. The other big thing, what do we need to address here, right? What else am I driving up for? So meetings with law firms, trying to get into those buildings to talk about pay and safety. We'll see. That could be quite funny. Could go a little bit south as well. I don't like to be pushed around by security, I can tell you that. Then heading over to Yosemite to talk to politicians. If I can get away and get some time into Sacramento, I doubt I can get much achieved there on a Saturday or a Sunday. Thinking of heading over there on a Monday to see if I can get a meeting or two that these politicians could set me up with people in Sacramento. They know a lot of people in Sacramento that pull a lot of strings. So it's more about introduction. So for me, it's an all business weekend. It has to be done. These things are not cheap. Tenaya Lodge is not cheap. San Francisco ain't cheap driving. So if I do make a couple of live feeds tomorrow and the next day, anybody wants to contribute $2, $5, $10 towards this all comes out of my own pocket. But I mean business. Now, the other big reason, which I haven't mentioned so far, is I'm also meeting tomorrow night for dinner in San Francisco with investors. Personally, I can share this with you because I've been pushing hard for 5 years, trying to help the Canadians get the co-op going. And I've been rather disappointed. I've been rather disappointed by two gentlemen that made a lot of promises. And I've put in a lot of hours. I've put in 5 years, not 5 hours, wishful thinking. 5 years of hard work to help build the co-op. What I do well is recruiting. I'm a salesperson. I know how to recruit. And I don't want to give up on the dream of starting a co-op or a new rideshare company. I will not even remotely think of throwing my weight behind any new company unless there's talk about maybe $5-6 million, because licenses and insurance, if they roll out of Minnesota, I'd like to get in there. I still hope that the co-op's going to come through, the fair co-op. I hope these guys don't let me down. But I don't tolerate bullshit. You know, when people have made promises and people said that they would deliver on thing and deliver on investors, they need to deliver. I delivered on bringing in 50,000 drivers. I delivered. My part of the bargain has been done, right? It wasn't talk. It was all, I walked the walk. I delivered the people to the co-op. They need to deliver the investors. If they cannot in the next few weeks, I will most likely get involved and try. And I emphasis on try because this is not set in stone. This is not, no decisions on this yet. But I'd like to try and personally get a rideshare company going. Either register a company or do it in form of a co-op. I think co-op is definitely the best way to go, the best. Although, as I found out, it's not too easy to raise investors when it comes to co-ops, because 50% of the co-op is really owned by drivers, by the gig workers, and only 50% can be made available to venture capitalists or angel investors, right? And I have a lot of history there. I raised $25 million back in 2002 for my national apartment rental company, teaming up with rent.com. And so I have a lot of knowledge on raising monies for my own projects, handshake.com, rentwave.com, westsiderentals.com, and also raising money for other friends that entered the .com field. And I still have a lot of contacts in the arena of West Coast angels. There are many, all the way from San Diego, LA, right up to San Francisco. It's a group called the West Coast Angels. So I will meet up with a couple of these angel investors and say, listen, this is what I have. I've developed over the last 10 years this following worldwide. We want change, so I also speak on your behalf. We want change. We deserve change. We deserve better pay. I definitely know how to improve safety, because that's very much my background. I had security companies in South Africa, so I do understand a lot about safety and security. I don't think that the companies are doing a great job at all. And I'm talking Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all of these companies, Uber Eats. They're not taking care of the rideshare drivers. They're not taking care of the food delivery drivers. They're doing a very, very poor job when it comes to safety. I do believe that collectively we've made an impact, that the protests have made an impact. The companies have acknowledged them. They've talked about them in the media. The media has called them out on these protests. Why haven't you acted on pay? Why haven't you acted on safety? And I think to just sort of quieten the public or quieten the media, they came out and said, oh, we have this verification tool, which is also all bullshit, right? The 70% that Lyft is spinning to try and address the complaints about pay is a big lie, right? The 70% guarantee, we know it. It is truly only 40-50%. So David Risher is still pushing the big lie. Maybe he would like to talk to me tomorrow, late afternoon in San Francisco, about that 70% and bring more numbers to the table. We need to talk about those external fees, because those external fees, I personally think there is a big fat class action built into those external fees when it comes to the overbilling and the shenanigans done with insurance. The way that Uber and Lyft are gouging the drivers or insurance, I do believe there's a big class action that could follow from Lyft's 70% lie, 70% bullshit, and all these external fees. So, these are things I want to address with investors, that we can truly offer better pay, we can get better service, we can offer better safety to drivers, and the timing could not be better for a new company. Now, I was hoping it would be fair, FAIR, co-op. I'm still going to give them a chance to come through. They still owe me money. They need to deliver on their promise of investors, right? What was put out there is that they wanted to do crowdfunding. I've done crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is difficult. Crowdfunding is making something happen. It's almost like GoFundMe, where you have got to get hundreds, if not thousands, of people on board with little numbers everybody's making. And investors don't like that. Investors don't like if there are too many hundreds or too many thousands of people involved in the pie, right? And I strongly believe that crowdfunding is not the way to go when you want to start a new rideshare company, right? Turning around and asking the drivers for money to fund a co-op goes against everything I've discussed with these directors in the last 5 years. I'm not for that, and I've made myself crystal clear that if they want to go down that road of crowdfunding, I'm pulling out. I'll pull the brakes, and I'll end it right there and then legally. I'm not going to take any shit, right? So yeah, it's a mixture of, and I'm being very open here, right? The thing is, if you have worked the amount of years that I have devoted to the gig industry rideshare, granted, I've made a lot of money with fleets, courses, referrals. I'm not complaining. I've made a boatload of money just with that, right? But what I've been working towards is starting this movement, empowering the drivers, getting more rights, getting better pay, and we certainly deserve better safety. I started protests years ago when people said I was crazy, and I mean, we've pulled off some of the largest protests worldwide. So if you set your mind to something, my friends, like I had set my mind to go up and meet with attorneys, meet with investors, try and meet with a company, and meet with politicians all in 4 days. That was my goal. and my leg and my torn ACL derailed that. But that's not an excuse to give up on that. That's why I'm getting up early tomorrow morning, heading out at 4:30 a.m., hitting the road and going up to San Francisco. There's going to be a lot of driving, a lot of meetings, and I want to get this done because you got to prove that to yourself, right? I got to prove that, hey, I tried everything I could with law firms. I tried everything I could in trying to get investors on board and get a new company going. I tried everything I possibly could to speak to politicians and maybe influence the future of rideshare when it comes to bills and political clout. And if I didn't put this weekend in, and if I didn't invest this money and these hotels and these trips, I wouldn't be happy. Has to be done. Part of my DNA. So it's going to be exciting, and then hopefully wherever I can, I'll do some live feeds. Again, if you can make a contribution, great. I'll be on the road. I'll fill you in where I am. I'm going to really try and do a live feed at Uber and Lyft. And let's see, maybe I get in. Maybe Kristen Zverchek wants to come to talk to me. Maybe David Risher wants to come talk to me. Maybe Lindsay Llewellyn from Lyft wants to come talk to me. Maybe Tony West from Uber wants to talk to me. Maybe I get lucky and Dara Koshashawi wants to talk to me. We'll try, right? We'll try. I give it 0.5% hope, but I'm gonna try on that 0.5%. At least I can say, hey, I went there and I put the invite out. And the invite to these individuals is, are you willing to talk about driver pay and safety? Like what can we do? Because Uber stock ain't doing good, my friends. Lyft stock went up a little bit. Apparently Lyft is grabbing a lot of the riders, the passengers from Uber. Uber's gouging their riders. Lyft is also gouging their riders. They're both overcharging. But apparently Lyft is not overcharging as much as Uber is overcharging. And I speak to passengers. I interview people. I want feedback, not just from the drivers. I also want it from the passenger side. I got a lot of feedback the other day, and I'm sharing a lot here. While I was at the physical therapy, I spoke to 3 of the physical therapists that take Uber and Lyft, and I wanted to hear straight talk from them. And they said it's just become too expensive and too ridiculous on Uber. Lyft is semi-doable. Waiting times are a little bit longer. So we shall see, right? You got to try. In life, you got to try. You can't say, oh, I regret, I should have, I could have. If I had that time, I should have done this. No, you got to do it, right? And it's the same, even if in the back of your mind you're thinking, hey, I want to maybe transition from a rideshare, combination of rideshare and private clients. Don't shelve it. Address it. Get it going. Don't stop, my friends, right? Step into your self-worth. It's amazing when you tap into your true potential and energy. It's a great, great feeling. And for me to, with this bust up leg, to suit up again, suit and tie, I'm all in. I've done it many times. I'll do it again. And just excited about the diversity of opportunities this week. And again, meetings with law firms, meetings with angel investors, meetings with actual politicians and senators, right? And hopefully that's a dream. One of these arseholes one of these trash executives, I shouldn't say that because then they're not going to come out, but hopefully one of these guys comes and wants to talk about poor pay and poor safety of gig workers. I wish you all a great Thursday. Gonna hit the road tomorrow early, and you'll see me probably next time in a live feed. And then I'm gonna fill you in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday on the 96 hours. What have we achieved in those 96 hours? Just being very open, very direct here. And not to put Fair Co-op too much down. They've done a lot, but it's crunch time. These guys need to deliver. I've put in 5 years of work. I've recruited 50,000 drivers. I want to see the investors. If I don't see the investors, I will go and get the investors. I've done it many times. The question is, like, do I really go and get involved in rideshare, right? And the only thing that motivates me to get into rideshare is the drivers are ready. The drivers are absolutely ready for change. They are sick and tired of Uber and Lyft and Uber Eats and DoorDash's abuse. It'll be a hard climb to take on food delivery business, right? That's a lot of sales and a lot of recruiting and a lot of restaurant calling. But rideshare, drivers are ready to make the switch. And I'll tell you what, if these guys pull out in July, they said on July the 1st, they're going to pull out of Minneapolis. There's at least 10 rideshare companies that said that they would enter the market. So far, only one company, right? And they deserve your attention. Only one company has actually put up the monies. They've put up the monies. They've put their money where their mouth is, and they've paid the fees, the Minnesota insurance fees, blah, 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 all these fees to get into the Minnesota market. Twin Cities and the state of Minnesota. They deserve your attention. Now, the other 9, I hope they show up, right? But I think this gives new rideshare companies a great opportunity to get their foot in the door. And it's not going to bankrupt, $50,000, $70,000 is not going to bankrupt you. It's not going to bankrupt you. And plus, Minnesota said they have like these $150,000 grants for new companies. Any new company, including myself maybe, if I decide to go down that road, I need to find out very quickly, and that's also part of the discussions this weekend with politicians. Who can they introduce me to? And they know everyone, right? State by state, they know. Who can they introduce me to in Minnesota that I can get a grant? And the one gentleman is a master when it comes to grants, getting grants for states. Where can you get this $150,000 grant in Minnesota so you can get a rideshare company going up and running in no time? And ladies and gentlemen, I want to even encourage other people out there that so maybe they're pursuing the dream of starting their own rideshare company. There've been women out there starting all women rideshare companies. If you are, I'll support you with a video. I'll try and throw my weight behind you. I want to let you know that these scripts, these rideshare scripts, these food delivery scripts, they're all out there. They only cost about $2,500 to $5,000. Gone are the days when you have to get all your custom programmers and write everything yourself. These days you can buy scripts. And even if you were operating on a script, a rideshare script, and got a rideshare company going for 6 months, and you generate enough money to then write your own proprietary software, right? Software that you wrote and you owned. You're not buying or subleasing it from another company, but you actually have written that software program and that script with your own programmers. You own it, your company owns it. That's obviously the way to go if you want to build up value in your company and sell it one day, right? So, but to get going, ladies and gentlemen, there are numerous good scripts out there where you can actually have the driver app and the rider app. It's there, it's written, right? You just have to plug it in and get it going. Write the apps for iPhone, and the Android platform, and you going. You plug it in and off you go. You get the approvals by Apple. You get the approvals by Android, and you're in the mix. It's not that difficult. So exciting times. Today is Thursday. I'm going to relax, work on my Chevy Camaro a little bit. And tomorrow I'm going to hit it hard. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And if I can get anything achieved on this weekend, it's great. And like I say, you go in there, you're putting a lot of fishing rods in the water, and doesn't mean that every single lion's going to bite, but maybe I can land one big fish. That's the attitude I'm going in with, right? Will I have success with politicians? Will I have success with the law firms? Will I have success raising monies from investors for a new rideshare company? Will I be able to speak to, Uber and Lyft executives? And then final, number 5, I've mentioned 4 reasons for going up. I will be meeting up with Edward Escobar, great speaker, great advocate for drivers and truckers, lot of trucker connections, a lot of AI connections, and we are going to explore bringing in 3 new categories into the rideshare channel. I'm going to talk to him about it. We're going to go over it, and that is Uber and Lyft Espanol, Gig World Espanol. So there will be Spanish videos in my channel, and if you're Spanish, you can tune in. If you don't speak Spanish, you keep on watching my English videos. And then the other one is AI, artificial intelligence, and that covers Cruise, Waymo, robo-taxis, Tesla, all of that. The guy's an expert at that. And then the field of trucking. I want to get a lot of truckers in. I love truckers. There is something about truckers to me that genuine, real people. I absolutely love truckers, and I want to be able to bring them on board into the channel and also fight and advocate for them, right? I just think I've met so many truckers in my lifetime, have really good conversations with them, whether it's here in LA or at a truck stop. They're hard working people, man, hard working people. Sacrificing a lot, often sacrificing so much for their family. They earn well, they make good money, but there is a space for that trucker community in my channel, just as I've created a space for taxi drivers, because I treat every single driver equally. There is no superior being in the driver world, whether you're a shuttle driver, limo driver, rideshare driver, taxi driver, trucker driver. To me, you are a driver. I treat you equally, and there is a space in my channel for you and a voice in my channel for you. So that is really what I want to get going with Edward Escobar. He's amazing. He's a friend, he's a fighter, he's an advocate, excellent speaker, and he's just proven to me over and over again that he's the real deal. I mean, it's going to be literally the first person I'm going to take into my channel. It's like Harry signing up Sergio, right? It's like, and the best thing Harry ever did for the Rideshare Guy channel was to bring in Chris and Sergio, right? So I plan to bring in Edward Escobar to really create the bridge to the Spanish community worldwide. Any Spanish-speaking country that facilitates gig work. And then again, like I'm repeating myself here, he's an expert in the field of AI, robo-taxis, and he's also has endless contacts to the trucking community. Now, we're on 29 minutes. I can't believe, I thought, okay, there's going to be a 2-3 minute video. I just had a great lunch. I'm pumped up. My leg feels good. I had physical therapy. I'm psyched. My head's in the right space to go 96 hours all out, right? A lot of coffee, a lot of Red Bulls, but there's a lot to be achieved in the next 96 hours. So please leave your comments. Please leave your questions below. Please leave your suggestions. Maybe even leave a question for Uber and Lyft executives. What if I get through to one of them? Maybe I can read some of those questions, right? So far, only person I've had a really good conversation with for 30 minutes. Sadly, he hasn't delivered after all his promises, is David Risher. But I know there are Uber executives. I even extend my invite to DoorDash executives. I'll show up. I'm going to be in San Francisco tomorrow. Call me, text me, email me. I will show up. Let's talk. Let's talk business. Be safe, my friends. Be alert. Make sure you know who's getting in your car. And at all times, never take your eye off the road. Never go against your gut. Your gut is always right. If something is off or feels off, it is off. Don't accept. Get out of there. Take care. I will speak to you soon. God bless you all.